All right, so this is our final review topic. We're going to talk about ecosystems. An ecosystem refers to a community of organisms and their surroundings. So, what is in them and everything includes abiotic and biotic. It's all living organisms need energy to function. That's including you, animals, anything living. The original source of energy does come from the sun. Producers make their own food from the sun. We call this process photosynthesis. We just talked about that in plants. And then they use chlorophyll, which is a green pigment that allows the plants to absorb sunlight. Consumers eat plants for food, and other animals or consumers, and other consumers eat them in a food chain. Many food chains form a food web. So you can see there's a worm, fish eats the worm, bigger fish eats the other fish. It's still a consumer. Decomposers break down dead organic matter. These relationships allow the energy to be transferred in the one direction only. It takes the energy that was in that dead animal, puts it back into the ground for it to help the plant grow. So you have producers produce their own food or make their own food. Herbivores, which eat plants. Carnivores can eat both. Decomposers break everything down. That's the bacteria, the mold, the mushrooms, the fungus, etc. Okay, I just wrote this in my notes section because I don't really give you but you have that little notes area. If you want to write this down, you can simplify. So first trophic level is called producers, also called autotrophs. They use sunlight energy to produce their own food that is also consumed by other organisms. They have the largest amount of energy and they are the largest biomass, meaning they take up the majority of an ecosystem. They're the biggest thing that's presented. Second trophic level is consumers. These are your heterotrophs. They're primary consumers and they're dependent upon the producers. These are usually your herbivores. They have less energy available. And last is your third trophic level. Again, heterotrophs, and they're secondary consumers and they're dependent upon the level below them. There's even less energy. Remember, you lose 90% of energy as you go up the energy pyramid. So producers, they have 100% of the energy. They're making their own. Something that eats them only has 10% of the energy. Something that eats that first thing only has 1%, 10%, hundreds of percent. You're losing 90% every time you go up. That's why you don't want to, you don't get out to 5 or 6 in a chain because you're not getting any energy. Nitrogen, water, oxygen, and carbon are all cycled through ecosystems. Example is the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is used by producers to make glucose in photosynthesis. And it's constantly a cycle. So you can see it's used in different power plants. Plants are taking in the carbon dioxide, the cow's giving it off. Volcano can give it off. It comes back down, can go into the water, and it constantly is cycled. Cycles of matter continuously occur in ecosystems. Matter is going to refer to all physical substances, so everything that we can touch, right? So the first cycle that I talk about is water. The water cycle moves water in all three of its phases: solid, liquid, gas. You have it rains, it can be snow, solid, and then it's going to heat, it's going to evaporate as a gas, condense, form back into a cloud, and then rain again, run off. It's constantly moving. Oxygen primarily moves in the air and water. Fish need oxygen too. Okay. Some bigger mammals, they have to come up to breathe. Carbon is continuously processed in photosynthesis and respiration, and nitrogen is the main element in air. It's found in waste, and plants need it. So these things are constantly being cycled in ecosystems. How do environmental conditions affect organisms? So you have abiotic is any non-living factor. That's your water. That's how much sun. That's rocks, temperature. Biotic is any living factor in an ecosystem. Remember, it's anything living or was once living. So even that tree limb that's chilling outside, it was once attached to the tree and growing, so it is still considered biotic. Any factor that may slow a population's growth or success is called a limiting factor. It means it doesn't allow them to keep growing. So we have 3: food, water, space. If there's not enough food, plants are either going to die or they're going to move. If there's not enough water, they're going to, same thing, space. If there's a big tree taking up a whole bunch of area, not a lot of things can grow underneath of it because it needs sunlight, and it's not getting the sunlight it needs to grow. So those are things that limit success. Organisms may respond to their environments. We call it, how do they respond? Plants is a movement may occur when a stimulus is presented in an ecosystem. They might go towards it, like phototropism. They move towards the sun. Plants may grow towards or away from a stimulus, such as light or heat. They go towards it. Positive, it grows towards the stimulus. Negative, goes away from the stimulus. It's protection or increased sunlight. So roots have a positive hydrotropism. That means they move towards water. But the roots are a negative phototropism. They don't grow towards the sun. They grow positive phototropism is the part of the plant, the green part, actually moves towards the sun. So you can have positives and negatives. All right, so it wanted you to research biomes listed on page 19. This just kind of shows you where they're located. There were 6 of them that you had. Freshwater, that's your lakes, your ponds, keyword freshwater. Marine is the ocean, the sea. Grasslands, gonna have a lot of grass, not a lot of trees, probably there's a medium amount of water. Desert is gonna be a lot of sands, hot, not a lot of trees or vegetation. Tundra is basically a snowy desert. It's all snow instead of sand, so there's not a lot of vegetation there either. And forest, lots of trees, lots of growth, lots of animals and plants living there. So this is our final unit, our final review, and hopefully it all helped.